Anxiety. It's something more than 400 million people struggle with globally. So here to help you work with your anxiety, if you have it, is local author and speaker Peter Bedard. Welcome.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here.
We're happy to have you. Now, we understand you have a book out, a new book about anxiety, and it's not just for grown-ups.
No, it's not. Thank you for sharing that, because when I first put this concept together to create this book, I was actually thinking of my clients, and my clients are adults. I wanted to bypass that part of our brain that sort of shuts us down, that critical mind, oh, that's not for me, or I can't do that type of stuff. So I originally wrote it as a children's book to bypass that, so my adults, friends, clients could read the book and get something from it.
Right.
And then something magical happened, and it turned into this book that kids were really understanding. We did some beta testing on it, and kids love it. And they love that it's a grown-up book for your inner child.
Right.
Like, they love that, because the kids, I worked with 10 and up so far on the book, and we're going to be at the Boys and Girls Club here in Cathedral City too.
Wonderful.
And they grab onto it. It's like it speaks to them, and I'm just blessed because it's talking to all ages.
Well, let's talk about why. Why is it speaking to people? What is it saying that we need to know?
So in my first book, I used this process that I did to heal myself. That's about loving the parts of us that are suffering. Right? Instead of wanting to cut them out and beat them up and throw them away or drug them or be embarrassed of them or ashamed of them or any of that kind of stuff, right? To say to this part of us that's suffering, I'm sorry you're hurting. I'm so sorry you're hurting. I love you. How can I help? And by developing a relationship with that part, it changes everything. Even just now, as we hear those words in our head, we get to breathe, right? And so I wanted to take that process and apply it specifically to anxiety, specifically to that, and to have people be able to walk through that process effortlessly in the book.
So you're talking about self-talk, essentially, right?
Basically,
the way we speak to ourselves.
That's the most important voice, right?
And you're your best teacher in calming yourself down?
Absolutely. It's nice when we're first learning about breath work, as you mentioned, or meditation things or stuff like that, right? But eventually, we may start on the outside, doing a meditation app or something like that. But it's that voice in our heads that's the most important voice, right? How we think about ourselves, right? That part of us that says, maybe a lot of people who are listening who have anxiety, it's like there's voices coming from inside them, right? There may be things on the outside, but if we didn't care about those things, those are on the outside. So if we go on the inside and go to that voice and, what are you doing? What is it you need? And that voice, anxiety itself, its purpose is to protect us.
So we hear you have an event coming up.
I do. I was so granted with a gift. The Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce, which is the larger chamber of commerce in our valley, said they would host me for a ribbon cutting. I had no idea how they were going to do a ribbon cutting for a book. That's the first thing.
Wow.
And it's going to be hosted at the Boys and Girls Club in Cathedral City at 4:30. It's welcome. Everyone's welcome. It's open to the public. And it's a great way to connect with me, to connect with other businesses. Our chamber in this valley does amazing things to support so many people. And the Boys and Girls Club is just a great place to start with the book. It's a great place to benefit, the children in our valley. And I'm just thrilled. It's such a neat, fun thing.
Wonderful. Sounds great. And again, if you want to pick up Peter's book, you can go on Amazon. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back.